Welcome back into After the Whistle. Tristan Thomas here again with Minot State Athletic Director Kevin Forde. And Kevin, let's just go back a little bit to winter sports. Just a lot going on here with obviously the weather causing cancellations and schedules moving around. I mean, how did you feel overall about your first winter here as the athletic director?
Well, I tell you what, we were busy nonstop. It seemed like the weather played a factor in a lot of our basketball trips. Our men's basketball team, as most people know, had a heck of a trip going to the conference tournament. We got stranded at Mayville State for about 9 hours, and then we made our way to Fargo and to Marshall, Minnesota, and we played at a 2 o'clock start tip-off time and won in triple overtime, and they had to leave immediately after the game to avoid getting stuck in Marshall for 4 days. And it's been a heck of a run for our winter sports, but our women's basketball team, finishing as strong as they did, and they had a little stumble early out of the gates, but they came out and finished really strong. So I was really happy about our basketball programs and how they competed this year and how they finished off. And then we had to turn to wrestling. Wrestling, we had 3 women make the first time ever having a women's program, making the national tournament, and then also with the men. The men we haven't sent in 3 to the national tournament. So we're excited about the future of those programs and the development of the women's wrestling program. And then, of course, you cannot go without talking about hockey, because we had an outstanding hockey season with the men being ranked #1 all year in the country for Division I, and then topping that off with the national championship. And that's hard to do, to be ranked #1 and everyone's got a bullseye looking to play you and wanting to really put their best foot forward when you play, and yet holding that #1 ranking all year and then finishing off with the national championship. That was a lot of fun. And our women's hockey program, finishing 4th in the country, but then obviously in the national tournament, made a little run, upset a team or 2, and then made the national championship and lost by 1. So a second-place finish and a championship for hockey is something that we'll take every year.
Yeah, both of those teams being top programs throughout the whole year, really. And what was it like to see them, kind of live up to the expectations of being one of the top teams and not have an early exit or anything like that? What was it like to see them, battle through some of that adversity and, have a great showing for the whole program in general for hockey out in Boston?
Well, it was a lot of fun in Boston. I tell you what, our coaching staff did an excellent job keeping it, down to earth and grounded. Don't get too high, don't get too low when things go well or things go wrong. And so I think that really translated with our student athletes, and they really didn't feel the pressure of, having to perform as the #1 seed or having to perform, as being one of the top-ranked women's programs, and just go out there and play and let their play speak for themselves, and they did a great job.
Yeah, so moving to spring sports now, where the weather's starting to warm up a little bit. Looks like things are starting to move outside, but obviously the bubble has been a big spot for a lot of high schools and colleges from everywhere, it seems like, around here. I mean, what's it been like for you kind of having that facility and having teams from all over the state and outside the state come in and be able to utilize that?
Yeah, the bubble has been great for us. It's always been great for us. We've allowed us to practice on our turf field for football, soccer, and softball and baseball. But now this year, more than ever, that with the weather, how long winter lasted and how much snow the rest of the state really got, everyone and their brother has been calling trying to get into it. So we've tried to be as accommodating as possible, but that's also difficult because we have to make it work, and some people just want to get in for a few hours and some people want it all day. So it's been a challenge juggling that, and our staff has done a great job with making sure that we've tried to take care of our student athletes and then also the community and the surrounding communities, because it's a facility that's been heavily used this year, and that's what it's for.
And one of those teams getting going a little bit with their sport is first-year head coach Ian Shields and the football team. I mean, what's it been like to see him, kind of get things started there and get the spring practices going?
Really excited about football. I've been to a couple spring practices. They go at really early in the morning, so having to get up early like your news anchors and your sports guys, and get up early and get out there to practice. But it's been a lot of fun. They're really energetic. They're crisp. They're sharp with their drills. They don't mess around. They go 3 to 5 minute clips, and they kind of move on from one station to the next. And they're working on a lot of things, and I think we're expecting good things from the football program this year.
Awesome, Kevin. Well, appreciate the time as always.
Thank you.
Awesome. We'll be back with more After the Whistle next.